So I finally got access to Valorant, and I played, 8, 9, maybe 10 hours of it so far, something in that ballpark. And I thought I would show off some of the clips I've gotten so far, and we'll just have a short, sweet, frank, unscripted little discussion about the game and my current thoughts and feelings about it. So, from the get-go, I am not a CounterStrike player. I don't play CounterStrike Go. I have played a lot of 1.6, Condition 0, and Source in the past when I was much, much younger, but I never played them seriously. I never played like the traditional game modes and like traditional maps and like sweated super hard in our normal 5v5 teams. Like, I would always play custom maps and the silly game modes and play with the mods and play purely as a 1000% no skill, no brain, can't aim, casual player in a completely non-competitive environment. The most competitive I would get would be things like gun game or team deathmatch on certain maps that would support that kind of playstyle and had fast respawns. I very rarely would play the traditional game. It's not to say I never did, but it was just not common at all. So I'm not a Counter-Strike player. Valorant is absolutely not easy for me to get into as a non-Counter-Strike player. I like to play Quake. I like to play Titanfall, Lawbreakers. I like to play games where I can move fast, really fast, and have really accurate guns while flying through the air and doing crazy maneuvers. This is not a knock or dig on Valorant, because I knew what I was getting into. So, it is what it is. I'm not complaining about that. Just trying to set the scene for where I am as an FPS gamer and what it feels like coming in with literally no experience in this genre. Well, I guess I did play Siege, but that only partially applies to like holding some pixel angles and things like that. I mean, that whole mechanic, I get. Fast peeking, I get. Wall bangs and stuff like that, I also get. But on the grand scheme of things, I feel like a lot of the time I would have really good aim on people, but I would just be let down by my gun because it wouldn't be accurate enough and the bullets would be spraying way outside my crosshair. Now, I get that, again, as a Counter-Strike spiritual successor / competitor, your crosshair is merely a suggestion. It is not actually where your bullets are going to go. I understand that there are spray patterns that I have to learn, and I've been practicing them a little bit and trying to get better at them and learn how to use the guns and just have a general understanding for how much I need to pull down and left or down and right while shooting to actually keep most of my bullets going on target. But even so, when I get into actual games, there's just a lot of situations where it gets really frustrating, where I and my opponent see each other, we both crouch and both begin spraying at each other, and it's just a matter of who gets luckier on their spray first, because I'm not at a high enough level where people are going to actually be good at it. So we're both just spraying wildly and hoping that we get the lucky headshot and win the fight. And it just doesn't feel super engaging, right? It doesn't feel like it's something that I really want to get super better at. It's like, on one hand I do, because I'm competitive by nature, and I do want to learn the game, and I see that there is so much depth here that I don't even know about that I could learn and get better at. But at the same time, it's just, it feels rough with how often you get 1 or 2 tapped by people. And it just doesn't feel like, you know, they actually aimed for your head and just clicked your head. It feels like they aimed for chest and just held the trigger and just got the lucky headshot that does like 3,000 billion damage to you. I know that's not accurate, but it's what it feels like as a player who just doesn't play this genre. So it's rough. I am concerned for the casual player base. People like me 15 years ago playing this game for the first time, with it being their first tactical shooter, and they see like the pretty graphics and the really, really low barrier to entry, and that it runs on super, super low-end hardware, that it's free to play. So you have all those things where, like, you know, really young me would be super excited about trying that out and giving it a try and playing. But, you know, after watching like my favorite streamer, who is a CS god, playing that and then trying to get in, I wouldn't expect to be anywhere near as good, but the amount that I would get clapped as someone who just really doesn't understand and doesn't have the mechanics nailed down would, I feel like, just be very, very, very frustrating. I'm not amazing with my aim and tracking and snapping or whatever. But I feel like I'm pretty good, having played competitive PC FPS for a pretty long time. I play a lot of Quake for Christ's sake. Like I can, you know, I can flick a rail. Like I can track an LG. I'm solid when it comes to aiming and counter strafing and AD strafing and whatever. But you know, a lot of that stuff just feels like it doesn't apply in a game like this. Again, not a dig, not a complaint, just is what it is. I'm concerned for the new player, I guess is just what I'm trying to get at here. There's no really casual mode. Sure, you have 5v5 bomb that is unrated, perhaps, but it's not casual. It's still going to be full of sweaty people. If you're solo queuing into it, you're still going to have really toxic people on voice telling you you're trash and how dare you take their jet and pick up the bomb and hold this angle and whine and whine and whine, and you're going to have that. It's going to be a thing. I'm already hearing terrible, terrible things from people about their solo queue experiences in this game, which has been in closed beta for, what, a week or so, give or take, from the date this is going live. So it doesn't bode well. It really doesn't. All that being said, if you have a group of friends, if you have 5 people whom you trust, or a group of people that you're willing to learn to play with and be positive with each other, maybe not like even all the times positive, just not be terrible to each other, and accept the fact that you're all learning and all getting better and you can work together as a unit to get better and enjoy it. There is a lot to unpack here. There is a lot of really excellent gameplay that is going to see competitive usage for, I would assume, years and years to come. This will be an excellent competitor to CounterStrike. However, if you are looking to get into this genre as a brand new person, and you don't have a group of people to play with, and you're not super interested in trying to find a community that will embrace you and help and teach you, my recommendation would probably be to go for CounterStrike over this game, because you're going to have so many more opportunities for more casual ways to get into the game that you're not going to get yelled at and screamed at and hated on by 100 different 12-year-olds. Maybe it's not the best take, but that's kind of where I'm at in my headspace on the game right now. I'm not trying to knock it or say it's bad or you shouldn't play it. Very far from it. I think it's got a lot of potential. If you are the kind of person that likes this genre, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. It brings some really cool ideas to the table. It does things that CounterStrike never could do. It enables gameplay that CounterStrike never could have and completely flips the genre on its head in some ways. It's much more innovative than some people give it credit for. And it's just good. I think you should try it if you get the opportunity to do so. Whenever they go into open beta or a full release, I mean, it will be free to play, so I think it is worth trying. Now, I will mention, there are going to be people that are wanting to talk in the comments about the Ring 0 kernel access to your system. I'll be honest, I don't know enough about computers and coding or whatever jargon I need to say here to specify that I really do not know what I'm talking about at all in this space. From what I've read on the internet, people are comparing the anti-cheat in this game to something like a rootkit, which I guess it technically is because it gains access to the root or the kernel of your operating system, which is like the most privileged access you could give an application or piece of code. And that could potentially be very, very bad, especially depending upon your opinion politically, I suppose, on Tencent and Riot Games and their, you know, political affiliations and, you know, the location of their home base, so to speak. Not here to tell you it's good or bad, but it is a thing that if you are concerned about the security of your system and the privacy that you expect on your system, you may want to do a little bit of research. However, if you use Discord on your PC, I mean, you're kind of in a similar boat with your data probably being very, very compromised and not as confidential as you might think. So just be wary of those facts. Don't come to me for suggestions or opinions on them. You should do lots and lots of thinking and research on that yourself to develop your own opinion on it. But I want to at least mention it because it is a very big point of contention in the Twitter sphere surrounding Valorant right now, and I'm sure in other places on the internet as well, but I mostly just use Twitter as my one social media. So keep a lookout for it. But if we completely ignore that and focus just on gameplay, there's a lot of great stuff. I think the game could be really, really good. Even though I'm terrible at it, I do enjoy the game as long as I have the right people alongside of me. Give it a try. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again sometime very soon. Take care.